everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back. What's going on the reaction for you guys? Take us, of course, here to the journey of Ben 10 Ultimate Alien. This is Season 2, Episode 11. Of course, I will not know the title until I get into the episode. Last week's episode was a focus on Gwen's life. And what's interesting is that, of course, within the show, in terms of Ben 10, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, now, of course, we get to see kind of like the main plots and kind of storylines and everything, but we don't get to really see the day-to-day lives, and they focus on Gwen in terms of, okay, yes, we're seeing aspects of fighting Dr. Animo, who of course is kind of reverted back to Dr. Animo from the classic era and everything, because at one point when the Void, he was a different kind of Dr. Animo entirely, but we see bits of that in the episode in terms of her, Kevin, and Ben going up against Dr. Animo, but then we get to see Gwen kind of just in her regular day, I guess, in her life, essentially, speaking with her mom, kind of helping with kind of getting a family together thing happening with writing letters and everything, going to school, going to class, all this, and then on top of that, other things kind of happening outside of her normalcy in terms of just what we get to normally see on a day-to-day, basis in terms of an episode, in terms of where they're all working together and going after the villain of the week, or, being plumbers or whatever, just doing what we're used to seeing, but seeing a different aspect of Gwen's life. In terms of what we're actually focusing on, I think it was really, really cool kind of how they balanced that. I think it would have been cool to see, like I was mentioning, the first couple of minutes, a Gwen kind of centric, kind of seeing what she does outside of working with, the main trio or whatever, and then maybe in the middle of the episode get Kevin and then Ben or whatever, like just seeing what they're doing when they're not working together, or like what are they doing outside of what we're used to be seeing within the show. I think that would have been interesting to see, but overall I really enjoyed the concept of it, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this episode here, because I don't know what to expect, because this season has been kind of a roller coaster in terms of the quality of episodes, but also just kind of what they're focusing on. So I'm not really sure what to expect here. So let's dive into now, guys. Let's check out this episode. Let's see what this shows, guys. Let's go. Wait, is that guy?
This is a restricted area, sir.
Saw the sign. Yeah. Oh. This guy is very strong.
Security.
What? What?
Ben, that's overkill.
No, it's swamp fire.
What's with the shouting names thing anyway?
It strikes fear into my enemies.
Area 51 is gone?
Oh, yes, okay, that was Area 51.
Nothing left but a gigantic crater. Nobody knows technology like I do, and I've never seen anything like it.
All right, Cooper.
I'm still not used to the jet. I'm still getting used to the jet, because you don't see it that much. That's a long-ass title.
Long time no see. Colonel Rosen.
Of course. Still this.
Cooper.
Solid castrodidium.
What?
You don't find this on Earth.
Perhaps you could enlighten us, Colonel?
Sorry, Max. It's above your pay grade. It's a holding facility.
For what?
What's it holding?
Alien combatants who landed on Earth over the years. No one can get in or out.
We'll see.
We'll see.
When he shouted his name just then, did it strike fear into you?
You have no rights.
Rights? You want to talk to me about rights? With all the aliens
we fight get turned over to the proper authorities, being stuck in a hole forever with no due process.
What do you find?
You won't believe it. There's hundreds of aliens down there. The security system was down, but I rebooted it. Grandpa, the conditions down there, it's inhuman.
Oh my God.
Because they're not. They're 775.
That's not what your electronic tote board said.
Uh-oh. Well, that's the one that got out. Not Mungosaur.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. I knew it.
Says they can go. You got stolen plumbership. Give up stolen plumbership. You can't escape the wrath.
I love Wrath.
Wrath can crash all day. Give up gravity. You can't beat
Ben!
A Wrath crater.
Ben, are you alright?
Let me tell you something, stupid rat-sized hole. Rats will destroy you. What?
What? Lucky. Very lucky.
Be totally innocent.
Remember,
of everything.
it's invisible
He
too.
stole a ship. He's no innocent. Plumber override. I said don't worry.
He said don't worry. Oh.
Humongousaur can handle this.
It's like a Humongousaur. See, I knew it. I mean, it's working. They don't go very far. Not a safe distance away.
New plan.
My God.
This one's going into the highlight reel.
Of what? Exactly.
My daughter's nuts about you.
Yeah? Is she cute?
Oh
Ben.
God.
Sorry.
Leave it
reflex.
alone.
Did an alien do this to you?
Hey,
What the hell? Oh.
looking for a fight?
It's like Cheshire Cat a little bit. A little bit. You got Humongousaur this time.
Finally. Old truck.
Oh, truck. That was good. That. Round of applause. That was good. Okay.
Nothing will ever be okay.
Nice. Okay. Oh.
What did you mean about nothing being okay?
Yeah, what?
Colonel Rosum says you're a terrorist.
I fought against an oppressive dictator. I no longer have a home. While I rotted in your prison, my mate, my children, gone.
Damn.
All gone.
There's always
messed up,
something
man.
to live for. You could even the score.
Absolutely. You could seek justice.
Beginning with Colonel Rosum.
Oh, that's not what they meant exactly. Well,
Even better, his entire family.
You could even the score. Nice one, Kevin.
yeah, good
I
job.
didn't hear anybody disagreeing.
I mean,
What's
that's
that
true.
problem?
He's going after Colonel Rosum?
Yes, he is.
The Colonel's not
And
here. He flew back to
Kevin
Camp
basically
Air
gave him the
Force Base in
idea.
Florida.
Oh, my God. That was smart. Smart. They brought him to
Now
the
what?
colonel. Oh
We
my
wait.
God. Mm-hmm.
Guys,
They brought him right to him. Ooh, that was interesting. Wild Mutt! Yes! Yes! Oh, that was funny, Gwen. Wild Mutt! I was like, what's happening? Just had a baby? Okay. Oh! Damn.
Leave me be. I intend to balance the scales.
he moved. He's to your left. He's back to your left. No, behind you.
Oh!
Going to live, Rosum. Leash your overgrown pet. He's no match for me.
What the fuck? Dude, I like Ultimate Ultimate. And he can talk too. Interesting. Oh my God.
Finish me.
He's not gonna kill you.
Let me
He's
go
not gonna
with
do
my
it.
dream. Do it. I've got nothing.
Mmm. Little cuffs.
Unlocked and available on playlist 5.
Hey guys.
Playlist
check it out.
5.
Overkill.
I'm sure he's behind the disappearance of Area 51. I want to be there for questioning. You still don't get it, Colonel.
You still don't get it.
Earth's in violation of interstellar law.
Oh.
You don't seem to realize the enormity of what you've done.
And there you guys have it. What a long title for this episode, by the way. A very long title. But anyways, pretty interesting episode for sure. And it got pretty dark in a sense. I had the voice cast pulled up here because we had a lot of different characters and things going on in this episode. And the thing is, they actually never gave the prisoner a name. They actually never gave the prisoner a name. But the backstory and what is revolving around why he was going after the colonel and everything was pretty dark, because apparently underneath where Ben actually went down or whatever in Area 51, like after it was taken away by John or whatever that guy is, by the way, the opening of the episode, we'll talk about that more in a second, but the prison that is under there with all these aliens, 775, they're all cramped into cells and stuff. There's the one, the chameleon one, that was kind of like a Cheshire Cat in a sense, because every time he would disappear, his mouth is still kind of there for a second or whatever, like Cheshire Cat. So, like, interesting that they were doing that a little bit, I think, kind of paying homage, I think, a little bit. But the fact is that he was captured because he was, like, basically banished to Earth, and his family, everything's gone, right? He has no home to go back to. And it's, like, pretty messed up. And then he's going after the colonel because what the colonel and, like, basically what the government, like, you know, the army did to him by capturing him and basically keeping him in a prison for all these years. We're not sure how long exactly, but he's been there for quite a while. And then at the end when he's fighting Ultimate Wild Mutt, which we'll get to the Wild Mutt a little more in a second, he's, like, begging to die. Like, without saying it exactly like that, but he's basically begging for it. Like, it's pretty messed up. He pretty much, he has nothing to live for. He was basically just trying to do something to get back at all the anger and the emotions and everything he was dealing with. He was just trying to find a way to kind of get revenge, balance the scales. I think he even said like balance the scales in a sense because of what was happening and what he went through and everything. Pretty crazy. I figured as much when the Colonel showed up that means that we were gonna get wrath, and there was a lot of wrath. Well, at least we got a good portion of wrath in the episode. That was pretty funny. That whole little segment was pretty damn awesome. I kind of figured John DiMaggio's back, we're gonna get wrath, and every single time when he's voicing another character, they're gonna have wrath in the episode because they have him. They're gonna use wrath somehow in the episode, and it was great. I love wrath so much. The more I see wrath, it is great. And honestly, there has been some wrath moments that are okay, but for some reason, this particular segment of wrath was great. It was really fun to watch. I think the back and forth between Max and the Colonel, which let me actually look up here, it's Rosom or whatever, very, very intense. Some of the dialogue, especially in the opening and at the end of the episode, because the idea that Earth is basically violating laws like space, like intergalactic laws or whatever, because they're capturing these aliens without due process, and the fact that they're basically holding them in cells and everything, it's pretty crazy. And I think the reason why we didn't actually see the actual cells itself is because maybe if they would to have shown us how it looks in terms of the prison with all these aliens, it may be too messed up because they've been stuck down there for potentially decades. Like that's how long this thing's been around, this prison. So the idea of maybe we shouldn't show it because maybe it would be, because the way they were explaining it dialogue wise is pretty like brutal for this show. So maybe showing it is a little too much for kids. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. But I think if this show was made for an older audience, in terms of like the main core audience is not so much like kids in elementary school and middle school. If this was more tailored towards like adults and high school kids that grew up on Ben 10 and this was like an older show or whatever, like you get what I'm saying? They may have showed it then because it is tailored towards more of a darker audience. Kind of like how X-Men 97 is. X-Men 97 is for kids in a sense, but not really. It's really tailored towards the kids that grew up in the 90s that are now watching X-Men 97 now. They're like kind of the return of the show. They're definitely going darker in that show. I think the same thing would have happened here if that was the case for this, because the explanation alone was pretty brutal in terms of what the show covers and everything, and what the character, the kind of chameleon prisoner, was going through. So there's that. We got to see a little bit of Cooper in this episode, and I do believe that Chris Pratt. Yep, that was Chris Pratt. He was back again for a little bit as this kind of older version of Cooper, and of course they had to have a little moment between the whole Gwen thing. Of course they did. But the main thing too with that is that we got Max in the episode. He was in it a little bit. He really wasn't a part of the main kind of fight or whatever with the prisoner itself, but we got to see a little bit of Max because before they actually cut to Max on the phone talking with Cooper about what happened to Area 51 with that guy who we got introduced to a couple episodes ago, and I don't know what he did. I don't know if he took a spaceship or what exactly he did, but when he got in there, Area 51, like pretty much the top portion of the base is gone. I'm thinking he took a UFO or something. I have no idea. He did something to the base, but he's gone now. And then that's how they found the prisoner and everything, and that's how the prisoner got out. All that. How the prisoner exactly escaped, we don't really know. But I thought when Gwen was saying to like Kevin or Ben or both of them, whatever, like, where's Grandpa Max? Like, he's the one who kind of playing this thing out. I thought that was kind of an implication that Grandpa Max was going to be in the episode or was going to be there, but something happened and then something's going on and they go to the base. But thankfully he was in the rust bucket on the call, so at least he was in the episode, because I miss Grandpa Max being more involved in the show. And I understand why he's not, because he's not part of the main trio anymore. Because in Classic, I'm feeling the coughing coming up. I'm still dealing with sickness. As you guys can tell, my voice, still dealing with sickness. But in Classic, it was Gwen, Ben, and Max. And in Alien Force and Ultimate Alien now, Max is not a part of the trio. He is there for particular episodes and really big moments, but he's not really a main focus anymore. So when we get to see him, it's really special for me because I love Max. I love this character so much, and I think a lot of you guys love Max as well. So it really is just great seeing the character again. But it was cool to see him in the episode, and I'm glad that he was a part of it. I'm trying to think. So, Wild Mutt. So Wild Mutt, like, that was a good reveal. Now, we had gotten teased Wild Mutt a couple episodes back because as like that like king or whatever was cycling through, like, he turned into Wild Mutt for a couple seconds. And now we have Ultimate Wild Mutt, which actually talks. And they actually address something that's been discussed on live streams I've done with Kaisept and Darren, and discussed in general, like in comment section, about Ben now yelling out his names when he turns into aliens. The reason why they actually do it in the show is for younger audiences to remember the names of the aliens when he turns into them. Like, so you're saying Swamp Fire, like you instantly recognize that name because he keeps saying it over and over and over. So when he yells it out, Swamp Fire, in the episode, Kevin's like, well, why do you do that? He's like, it strikes fear into the enemies. It strikes fear in, or whatever. Like, they gave a in-story, in-show explanation, but the real reason is so that when they're selling toys or when people are talking about the show, they don't go, that character, that's like a plant fire, it's Swamp Fire, okay? It's that character, like a icy character, Big Chill. There's a reason why the names keep getting said, and that actually has helped me because I'm really bad with names to begin with. So in Classic, it took me a while to remember all the names. Forearms, Cannonball. Like it took me a while to get used to all the names. But now I know these names more clearly because it's very obvious because he yells them out every single time. And also they kept the tradition up in this episode as well, where Ben kept yelling out different names, and he kept getting different. He wanted Humongousaur, he got Echo Echo. He wanted Humongousaur, he turned into, I think it was, Wrath. And then when he yelled, he said Goop, and I think it's highlighted Humongousaur. He's like Goop, he turns into Humongousaur. So that worked out pretty well. Anything else in particular that really stood out in the episode? I'm trying to think. I'm not really sure, but overall, like, I had a good time in this episode. It was definitely a fun ride, not sure where it was going, and I think that it was just fun to kind of see Wrath, seeing Wild Mutt, Ultimate Wild Mutt. It was cool to see that design as well, and then also, like, the little moment where Gwen's like, Wild Mutt, because Wild Mutt can't talk. It was good. So yeah, like I said, overall, had a good time with the episode. I can't wait to see what happens next week. Yeah, this definitely was a better episode for sure, because like I've been saying, as we've gotten into now season 2 of Ultimate Alien, some of the episodes have not been that great. They have not been that great. So thankfully, we've gotten actually another pretty solid episode of the show in terms of this season, and it definitely has me more excited to see what happens next week. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. What you thought about this episode. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.